Now, stepping away from biographies, which is a type of nonfiction, we're going to look at expository nonfiction, where we focus on one particular subject, like we did with homes or wolves in our last part when we did text features. And this time we're going to talk about animals and their habitats, or the places where they live. So we're going to use our background knowledge that we call schema to say what we know about a topic. We're going to stop and ask questions during our reading. We're going to identify what we have learned, and we're going to say what we still wonder after we're reading.
Hi everyone. The camera is working a little bit slowly today, so I'm trying to see if this is going to work, because I think I've recorded the same message like 2 or 3 times now. We've been talking about nonfiction text. Narrative nonfiction was where the nonfiction facts and the information is kind of told in a story, like a biography, which we were working on. And then we're also talking about expository nonfiction, which is true information are usually around one topic, and it explains something. So last week we talked about text features, and that's when we looked at books like Wolves or Homes, or here's one on desert. This is usually what we think of when we think of nonfiction text. It explains about this topic. It's only on this topic. And there are text features that help us understand it throughout this whole book. For example, we talked about this text feature on the back, where they're going to have a summary of what's in this story, or sorry, what is involved in this kind of, in our book. Also, we talked about a text feature like a table of contents. You can go to whatever page you want and read just that part. I don't have to read from the front cover to the back cover to understand about deserts. I could turn right to page, let's see, I could go to page chapter 3 if I want to learn just about desert animals on page 14, read it, get the information and go, great, I'm done, I don't need it anymore. I couldn't really do that with a biography, kind of like the Wilma Unlimited. I can't just go to page 14 and go, okay, I got what I needed. That's why this is more of a narrative nonfiction, and these are expository because it explains something. Now, we also talked about such text features as like an index, where you can go right to that page to look for some information. Also, we talked about having a glossary in some of these books, because you'll have a keyword that is usually in bold print. And if I want to know what it means, I can go right to the back in the glossary and find out. So this is what we're usually used to when we're looking at nonfiction books. They have real pictures, they have maps, they have diagrams, all those text features that we're used to seeing. Now, today we're going to look at a book that is nonfiction text. It's about rainforest frogs. And so it's a little different though, and that's why I think it's something that we're reading. If you see, these are illustrations, they're not photographs. Most people, when they look at this right away, they go, oh, it's a picture book, it's fiction. But actually, the text in here gives you true information about rainforest frogs. So this book is actually nonfiction, but it doesn't have a table of contents. You're right. But it doesn't have real pictures in it. It has illustrations. You're right. But it doesn't have a glossary in it. Yeah, you're right. However, you're right, there is no glossary in it. There's no pictures with captions. But the text in here gives true information, and that's what we're always looking for. Don't let the pictures or the illustrations trick you. It's the text that is true information that makes it nonfiction. I have a video for you to watch, because the video does a better job in showing you the beautiful, beautiful illustrations that are in this book, and that is next. And as you listen to it, I want you to also listen to for the things that you are learning as you hear it, and also wonder about questions that you have as you hear it.
Now, these questions were on the slide right before, but it's in a little friendlier format that you might see on Seesaw that asks you to write your thoughts down. So before you listen to the book, which is in the next slide, what do you think you know about frogs? And based on what you think you know, what do you wonder about frogs that live in tropical rainforests? And what questions do you have about them? You'll go to the next slide and you will listen to a book about rainforest frogs. And if not, you can click back and look at the link that is in the weekly schedule for today. Follow along as I read this excerpt to you. Excerpt from Flashy Fantastic Rainforest Frogs, written by Dorothy Hinshaw Patent. Frogs need homes to live in. When forests are cut down, frogs and other animals have no place to live, so they die out. Frogs that live in a limited area are especially threatened. The blue poison frog, for example, is only found in small parts of the forest in the South American country of Suriname. If its home is destroyed by people harvesting wood, this frog will become extinct. Frogs have been on Earth for more than 150 years, but today frogs are disappearing quickly from some parts of the planet. No one is sure why. Some fear that the increase in ultraviolet light reaching Earth may be to blame. Whatever is killing frogs could be a danger for other forms of life too. Scientists are working hard to understand what is happening so that the beauty and usefulness of frogs will always be with us. Today you're going to go back and think about what you have learned and wondered about flashy, fantastic rainforest frogs. So these are the things that we're going to go over. Question 1. Were your questions on your I wonder statement answered after you heard this book? If so, what did you learn? If not, where could you go to find out more information? And the last question is, how does wondering before you read help you?